If you want to apply for your first apartment in 2025, let me help you. I'm going to give you everything you need to know, from paperwork, how much money you need to have, your credit score, etc. This is actually not even my third apartment. I've had so many different apartments, but this is my third place that I've lived with no co-signer, okay? So every other apartment or place that I've lived in, I've either had help, a co-signer, but this one is all mine. And the past couple places have been all mine. And every single time it's time for me to go and find a new place to live, I get worried. So let me tell you guys exactly what I did, help you guys get there, and congrats and cheers already on your new apartment that is coming to you this year. If you are new to my page, my name is Cece. I am in my 30s and I'm here to help women change their lives, change their finances, and all around boss up for the better this year and all the years to come, okay? We're not perfect, but we're on a journey and we're getting there, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. So if you resonate with that, subscribe for more, because loads of great ideas that I have all up here are coming for you guys. Most approvals come down to your income, your credit profile, your rental history, and sometimes they will do a background check, but sometimes they won't, just depending. This is where it gets a little tricky when it comes to your income, because they are now looking anywhere between 2.5 to 3 times the amount of rent you need to make and show on your pay stubs. And this is difficult because if a place costs $1,800 a month, you need to show that you make at least $5,400 a month. And that is a lot of money. A lot of money that we don't actually make in the real world. So to combat this, what I actually had to do, because I am self-employed and my money fluctuates every month. Some months I make well over 3 times the amount of rent, and some months I'm not even touching 1 times the amount of rent, because that's just the job that I have. They did ask me to put down 3 months of the rent up front. So when I paid for, or did all my deposits for my lease, it was all of the deposits plus 3 months rent up front, which meant that I had 3 months free. So I basically paid in advance, not free because I paid for it, but there were 3 months I didn't have to pay rent, which was so nice. However, keep this in mind to maybe start a savings account and start thinking forward how much money you're gonna need up front if you cannot provide that 3 times the amount's worth of rent. I will say though, there is no shame in getting a cosigner. Personally, I don't believe in cosigners because it always ends up bad for the cosigner, but if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. There's no shame in it. Like I said, I've had plenty of cosigners my whole life, my parents on apartments, my grandparents on cars, and it was freeing to know I didn't need a cosigner for these places, but at the same time, I need a place to live, I need a place to live. Don't be too prideful to ask for help. I also recommend to start looking at places well before you're ready to move out. So from the last house that I was renting to this apartment, I started touring different units 6 months before. And I know that sounds crazy, but I was so ready to leave. I was so ready to move. I knew I didn't want to stay there, and I wanted to have every single duck in each spot of its row aligned perfectly. So there was no mess ups, there were no misses when the time came for me to get this place. And this unit is actually everything I wanted and more. I hope to stay here as long as possible because it's genuinely exactly what I was looking for. But I did tour multiple units, multiple apartment complexes until I found the one that fits me and my needs. And then I was able to think forward, how much money do I need to have saved up to get into this place? Where does my credit score need to be? All of that. And we're going to dive into credit more in a second. When it comes to credit, you don't have to have perfect credit, but you do need to clean it up. Okay, so pay down all of those revolving balances while you can. Bring that score up as high as you can. Don't miss any payments. Set up auto pay if you need to. And also make sure that if there are anything in collections or negative remarks, you are sending in letters, paying it off, getting it removed, whatever you need to do to remove any current open negative balances. Some of the paperwork that you should get ready, which there's a lot, but if you have pets, I highly recommend looking into getting your pets changed to emotional support animals, because then you don't have to pay a pet deposit and you don't have to pay pet rent. So thank you to my psychiatrist, my 2 kitties are officially my emotional support animals. I pay no pet rent on them, no pet deposit, and they also do emotionally support me. If I'm crying on my couch, they are on top of me, okay? But you do need to get that documented and provide that first. Now also have a government issued ID, because they're going to look for that. Any previous references from landlords if you have that, or any previous rental history. An offer letter for a job if you're just starting, or previous pay stubs to prove your proof of income. And if you don't have pay stubs, you can do bank statements like I did, where they can see deposits going into your bank account, and it has to be consistent over time. So have 2 to 3 months worth of this ready to go on deck, because that's going to be the most crucial part in getting you approved. Now, there are a couple options that you have when it comes to moving into apartments or rentals. You can go through a company, which is a apartment or leasing management company, where they have multiple different buildings, multiple different properties, and they have a set system of guidelines and rules that are very, very strict. Or you can do what I did with my last house, where I had a simple landlord. They were a privatized landlord renting out their house, and to be honest, all they did with me was a credit check. I said, I make X amount of dollars per month, this is my income. They literally approved me. They didn't ask for any statements, they didn't check into it. So if you do feel like you're not going to be able to meet all of the needs that these management companies are looking for, it might be better to go with a private landlord, because you have that one-on-one connection. You can show them who you are, you get a feel for them, you can see the space, and you have a little more room when it comes to haggling on the terms and the conditions. Here are some of the moving costs that you might not think about. So these are what you need to keep in mind when it comes to moving: a security deposit, your first month's rent, any prorated rent if you move in the middle of the month prior to the first. An application fee usually is what they take, or they may ask for you to pay for your own background check, credit check, etc. And then of course your actual moving costs. So if you're hiring movers, you need to rent a truck, you need to get boxes. All of that are some of the most grueling expenses that we forget about. And then it pops up and it's like, this is gonna cost me a couple hundred to move. So yeah, just be mindful that those are your moving costs. And if you're moving out of, let's say, your parents' house into your own space, budgeting for your furniture, your dishware, necessities, the struggle of moving out. I don't ever want to move again, to be so honest with you guys. I cannot stress this enough. Do not send any money for the full cost of the move without signing a binding legal document stating the place is yours. I know so many people who send money before it falls through, there's no legal documentation, and while you can get your money back through civil court and claims court, it's going to take a minute, okay? So be very, very smart. Don't sign anything either without looking over it, and if you need a second opinion, ask a parent, ask a friend. You can even consult people online, but make sure you know your rights, you're protected, and you're also keeping your money safe. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any more questions, please ask in the comments below. I have moved so many times. I have made so many applications. I've toured so many places. So I know exactly what it feels like to be so excited to get your first place, but not really know where to start. So let me know what else you want to see. You're in my office right now. I feel like I'm finally moving in and loving the space. So if you want any tours, guides, or decor help, let me know. I got you, bestie. Good luck, and I will talk to you in my next one.